prayer in the field of silence, when the heart becomes the creator. There are moments when thinking is not enough. When the mind, though sharp and seeking, circles the same questions and finds no peace. When logic fails to hold the weight of longing, of pain, of potential unfulfilled. And in those moments, a quiet call rises, not from thought, but from the chest, a pulse behind the ribs, a rhythm too deep for words, a knowing that has waited patiently to be heard. It is the heart, no longer content to be a silent witness. It is the heart, asking to lead. Quantum field, you who respond to vibration, not performance. You who echo back not our words, but our electromagnetic truths. Teach me how to follow this call, because I have spent years taming my thoughts, retraining my behaviors, learning the terrain of the mind. But I have forgotten that the true signal of transformation comes not from control, but from coherence. Let this heart beat not in reaction, but in rhythm with life itself. Let it become a drum that calls the body into balance, that calls the soul into presence, that calls the mind into service, not as master but as translator of what the heart already knows. Because I now understand, when the heart opens, it is not just a metaphor, it is a rewiring, a shift from chaos to order, a physiological and energetic turning point in the story of becoming. You have shown me that in states of fear, anger, and stress, the heart's rhythm becomes jagged. It sends signals of danger that echo through the body, pulling energy away from healing, from growing, from creating. But when love enters, when appreciation rises, when gratitude anchors me to the present, something ancient and powerful awakens. The rhythm smooths, the pattern stabilizes, the field becomes coherent, and in that coherence, the heart begins to broadcast, not just blood, not just emotion, but information. A signal, clear, magnetic, and alive, extends from this body, like a song only the soul can hear. And you, quantum field, you hear it. You do not respond to desperation. You respond to resonance. You respond to the calm certainty of a heart that trusts, even before the evidence arrives. So I pray now, not for things, not for signs, but for alignment. Help me remember that this body is not merely a vessel of flesh and thought, but an electromagnetic instrument, tuned most powerfully by the frequency of the heart. Let me no longer ignore the intelligence of this chest. Let me no longer armor it in cynicism, in performance, in fear. Let me soften, even when it hurts, even when I tremble, even when the heart opens, not in joy, but in grief, because every opening, even the painful ones, is a crack in the shell of separation, a breach in the wall of conditioning. And I know now that when the heart opens, the past begins to loosen its grip. The trauma, the shame, the stored signals of survival begin to quiet. The amygdala, the brain's frightened child, is soothed not by words, but by waves of love, coming from a steady heart. Let this heart become that steady flame. Let it generate coherence, not just for my sake, but for those around me, because I understand now that the heart's magnetic field extends far beyond the body, a lighthouse to the invisible, shaping the fabric of the quantum field. With every beat, let every pulse carry a message. I am ready. Let every rhythm whisper into space. I am safe now. Let every quiet thump be a signal to life. I am creating again. Because when the heart becomes coherent, the brain listens, the chemistry changes, oxytocin flows, softening, opening, soothing. Nitric oxide expands the vessels, carrying breath, carrying grace. And suddenly the world seems kinder, not because it changed, but because I did. Let this become the new baseline. Let peace be the default. Let love be the familiar pattern. My body returns to, not in fleeting moments, but in daily presence. And when I feel myself slipping back into old rhythms, when the stress returns, when the pulse quickens in fear, let me not judge. Let me simply return. One breath, one memory of gratitude, one small decision to choose coherence again. Quantum field, alive with infinite potential, receive this rhythm as my offering. I may not have perfect focus. I may not always trust, but I am trying. And that effort, that sincerity, is a frequency in itself. Let it be enough. Let the rhythm of this heart become the engine of transformation. Let it pull me forward, not by force, but by resonance. Let it teach me to create, not from lack, but from wholeness. I do not ask for a life without hardship. I ask for a heart strong enough to stay open through it. I ask for the courage to meet the unknown with softness instead of resistance, because I know now the unknown is not danger. It is possibility, and the heart, when it is open, can sense that truth before the mind is ready to believe it. So I breathe, not just to oxygenate, but to recalibrate. I breathe to remind the body that the future does not have to repeat the past. I breathe to tune my instrument back to love, even in grief, even in uncertainty, even in the stillness where no sign appears. Because coherence is not a reward, it is a choice, a discipline, a prayer. And when I sit in meditation, when I close my eyes and feel the center of my chest begin to glow, I know this is not imagination. This is reality being rewritten through rhythm. And the field responds, not with noise, but with echo, not with spectacle, but with flow, not always immediately, but always faithfully. So I stay, not to manifest faster, but to remember deeper, not to demand outcomes, but to become the source. And if all I feel today is a faint warmth in my chest, I will call that miracle. If all I sense is one brief moment of peace, I will honor it like gold, because the heart doesn't need drama. It just needs room to speak. So I will keep listening, and I will keep aligning, and I will keep becoming. Quantum field, receive this rhythm, this breath, this open-hearted prayer. Let it ripple outward. Let it reshape me. Let it rewire the fear. Let it restore the joy, not just for me, but for all I touch, for every room I walk into, for every life I brush against. Because when one heart becomes coherent, the whole field listens. And today, this heart is speaking.